Did they do a shitty job? Yes. Did they do a shitty job? Yes.
We made an entire list of all the metalwork quality of issues that goes for 2 pages, and I pointed them out to you guys, and you didn't disagree with any of it. You said, "Yep, that's wrong."
I haven't fixed it all.
Yep, that's wrong.
Trim, all that. It's all fixed. It looks good. But I'm now going to pay my guys they've done it twice.
And it's still very, very bad. It's all scratched
it was
up.
all great around the J trim was all great around the windows.
No, it's still all scratched up. It's bent. It's like I pointed out to Kevin, like where it meets, where one side meets, it's like instead of coming up here and meeting there, it's like almost 3/4 of an inch down. It's still got a big gap here, a tiny one here, and it's really bent up and scratched up, just the J trim.
Okay.
And all of the sheets are scratched. Almost every single one of them are scratched. They're all dented because instead of cutting it properly, and I don't know why they decided to use screws to try to pull it up to the house and bent the bottom. And when you look down the side, it looks like a ripple of dents the whole way down, like big dents. Not like the little imprint around the screw like is normal, like a big section dented in. Okay. Up on the top where they put plastic caps to put that tie back on, they just put screws in the metal right there to where it looks like somebody hit it with a hammer from the inside. On the roof, like people couldn't believe that there was plastic caps up there on a metal roof where there's dents all through the roof, and I got pictures of that.
So all the metal is
either dented or scratched.
So dented. So when we take that off, it's all going to be dented. It's all a permanent dent.
I don't know if it's permanent, but it's dented the way it's up there because it's pressed to the back of these caps. So I don't know, like this tells me, I swear, I'm not saying this to be an asshole, but it makes me wonder, have they ever put metal on before?
We don't know what we're doing?
I'm saying,
because in the whole grand scheme of things, that's what I'm worried about.
I mean, I have 3 pages of things that are wrong, and each thing, you're not even saying, no, that's completely wrong. Dents are fine in that. Scratches are fine. No, everything is legit.
I'm not disputing the metal. Do we know how to do metal? Yes. Did they do a shitty job? Yes. I haven't even been over to see.
And guess what? These are the same guys that were doing shitty work inside my house, and I can point to that shitty work to this day. I can go take you all through it and show you all the shitty work that was done in there. And the fact that they trashed the place every day, they just literally threw everything that they wanted all over the ground, even after I confronted you guys about it, and they continue to do it. This is not quality work. All of it has to be questioned. According to the International Residential Code, the IRC, anyone installing 7/16-inch OSB or plywood on 24-inch spans without end supports clips is in violation of commonly accepted building standards.
Apparently, just like Kevin said, there's a million ways to skin a cat.
Go ahead and listen to Krystal's explanation of why she didn't use the clips. H-clips. They have to be in there.
They're not on Gary's and they're not on Sedalia. I've never put them in. I've never put them. If you go on every roof, I will guarantee you 90% of roofs in the U.S. don't have those. Because every roof wait, should that be on every roof?
Well, I can tell you this much. Without them, we have the problem. The boards are like this. One's dipping down, one's shot up. So
those little clips aren't going to stop that. 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 Those little clips aren't going to stop that.
on the roof, like people couldn't believe that there was plastic caps up there on a metal roof where there's dents all through the roof, and I got pictures of that.
So all the metal is
either dented or scratched.
So dented. So when we take that off, it's all going to be dented. It's all
is
a permanent dent.
I don't know if it's permanent, but it's dented the way it's up there because it's pressed to the back of these caps. So I don't know, like this tells me, I swear, I'm not saying this to be an asshole, but it makes me wonder, have they ever put metal on before? Because it's so bad. And then just walking along the roof, you should see on the very top, I got up there for the first time with the one contractor, and we were looking at the metal, and there is big gouges down the metal that scraped all the way down past the primer, past the paint.
These pictures show where the workers walked on the roof with their muddy boots caked with large rocks, scratching and scraping the roof even more. A complete lack of caring and a total disrespect for me, the homeowner.
And Kevin, instead of even checking is the building racked, he started fixing the walls that weren't plumb on the inside. And the whole reason a lot of them are off is because that side of the house is off. These are things that aren't quality work. Like he's fixing symptoms here and there and not looking at the big picture. This isn't like, to me, I mean, I've never done this, and I wish I had, because I would have caught a lot of this stuff a lot earlier. But as I'm seeing what's wrong and I start learning about it and reading about it, I find out these are things that shouldn't be, this should be done right the first time. It's not something you just throw together and then later come back and fix. No, it should have been done right the very first time it was done.
Apparently, just like Kevin said, there's a million ways to skin a cat.
And these guys, they don't have a sense of urgency for my house. They never had a sense of attention to detail whatsoever. Just the windows being off by an inch, like the gaps in between the windows being off an inch here, 3/4 of an inch there, 1.25 inches there, like the spacing.
Which I don't understand how that happened, because
I can tell you why. Attention to detail. These guys have none. And this goes to the quality of work, and this goes to why I said, like, if Kevin can't be there to supervise to make sure it's done right, and he had to be, maybe this guy at the other house doesn't need it. He's probably pretty good. These guys needed supervision, and it wasn't there. That's what I paid you guys for.
After obtaining the trust package instructions, I found multiple discrepancies where Krete Construction had completely failed. Here, the engineers have called for JUS 24 brackets to be used on the trusses on the north side overhang. They were never installed. I found the box just sitting in the corner of the building. Krete Construction had no intentions of ever installing them. This is a complete failure on their part and shows their incompetence and laziness. Here, they did the same thing with the HJC 26 bracket that goes on the corner of the overhang. Again, incompetence, laziness, had no intentions of installing it. Here, the truss package instructions called for mechanical connections such as hurricane straps to be installed on every truss to the wall plates. This was never done. In the following pictures, you will see where I installed them after firing Krete Konstruction. The following two pictures show where stringers had to be installed per the instructions that Krete Konstruction never did and never followed. I did this after they were fired. After this last section, you have to wonder the following. Do they know how to read design instructions? How often do they disregard engineering directives? Are they just forgetful and leaving out structural parts? Is it an attempt to save time and money at the expense of the customer? Or is it just simply laziness?
Did they do a shitty job? Yes. I haven't even been over to see.
And guess what? These are the same guys that were doing shitty work inside my house, and I can point to that shitty work to this day.
Did they do a shitty job? Yes. But
Times
some
that
of
I
those
tried to
things,
be
like that doorway, when I don't care what contractor it is, here's what I see is when they go to put the door back in or to put a door in, they would fix it then. There's going to be mistakes. You cannot go on a 5,000 square foot house and expect it all to be perfect. It's rough in. And when you get done with your HVAC, plumbing, and electrical, those boards are going to be so roughed up, you won't even know. Is that what you're going to tell people? We don't know what we're doing?
I'm saying,
Because in
I'm
the
looking.
whole grand scheme of things, that's what I'm worried about. Is that what you're going to tell people? We don't know what we're doing?
I'm saying,
Because in
I'm
the
looking.
whole grand scheme of things, that's what I'm worried about.